Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David, and now I'm going to share a little something with you. Get ready for your nostalgic brain cells to open up.
There is someone waiting who will hurry up and rescue you. Just call for Super Chicken.
Okay, why am I playing the Super Chicken theme song? Charlie Kirk posted something up that Donald Trump then reposted on his social media. Charlie Kirk wrote an article called "Shut Up About Egg Prices. Trump is saving consumers millions." The comments are golden. It's like, wow, in 6 weeks you went from blaming Biden for high egg prices to shut up about egg prices. That's a nice record there. And imagine if Biden every day posted up articles saying shut up about egg prices leading up to the election, how much Twitter would have melted down. Trump made campaign promises that he was going to lower the price of food, and he often used eggs as an illustration of a common staple that had gone up incredibly in price. And there were multiple reasons for that, not the least of which would include bird flu and culling of flocks of chickens, amongst other things. But yeah, it was fine to campaign on it and promise he was going to do something about it on day one. Remember, everything was going to be addressed on day one. And here we are 7 weeks into this administration, and really nothing's changed. If anything, things are getting worse. Apparently, Trump also was messaging on social media to get ready for a recession. God, wonder why. Michelle and I were talking a little bit earlier today about how there's this huge misconception that the president controls the economy. You know, when the economy's good, the president gets all this credit for something, and when the economy's bad, he gets all the blame for it. It's really the Fed that controls the economy in normal circumstances. In normal circumstances, we aren't just willy-nilly announcing 25% blanket tariffs on major trading partners throughout the world. So, yes, the Fed normally controls the economy, but not when somebody is actively throwing grenades into the room. So if this economy goes into a recession, this is all on Trump. This is not the Fed. You can't blame the Fed. You can't blame Biden or Obama or Hillary or Clinton, Bill Clinton, that is, or FDR. You got to own it at that point. The person, if this economy crashes, it's going to be on Trump, and it's going to be because of his tariffs. Plain and simple. The stock market's already reacted poorly to it. But egg prices have been like, it's that great unmet promise. It's not quite the flying cars that we were supposed to have in the year 2000, but it's one of those kitchen table issues that Trump ran on, about how people can't even afford to buy bacon anymore, and they can't afford to buy eggs, and he was going to fix that. His campaign promise, quote, "When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one." Also said, when you buy eggs, they would double, triple in the price over a short period of time. And I won an election based on that. We're going to bring those prices way down. But that hasn't happened now, has it? So, I want to read, not so much our egg price is going to go down here. Let me move my keyboard. As much as Trump... Who wants to see a black cat? Raise your hand real high. Hi. This is Nico, for those new to the channel or newish to the channel and don't understand that Michelle and I have two cats. We have a black cat named Nico, and then we have a younger cat, a kitten. She's only about a year old, named Elle. Nico is the house panther. Elle is the house cheetah. Nico likes attention when he's feeling bored, and he also likes to eat my bracelets. So if I hold this up long enough, you're going to see this black paw come waving over to swat at it because he wants to eat it. Here he goes. I want that bracelet. Let me eat it. And Elle pretty much only bothers me when she's hungry, which is really adorable. Otherwise, she entertains herself. Sometimes I will even use Nico as a mat and I'll throw cards on him. But today is not one of those days. So give me half a second. I'm going to set up a chair over here. I'm going to put him on said chair and carry on with the reading. And look who I found under the chair. And we're back. So the purpose of this reading is going to be Trump, not so much an economy reading per se, but the thought that he's made this promise, still washed out with that, he's made a promise about things he was going to do that would impact people, everyday people, let's call it. You know, I'm sure Warren Buffett's not overly concerned about the price that he pays for his eggs. But for the majority of the people watching this, you wouldn't vote for a president or not vote for a president based on egg prices. But at the same time, it was one of those promises that you knew he was lying and he was only saying it to convince people to vote for him. And the people who voted for him would be of the mindset or the intellect to think, oh yeah, this should be easily done. This should be easy. This should be fixed, no problem. Stupid Joe Biden. And it hasn't been fixed yet. You know, for all the throwing grenades into the rooms of people and then calling the casualties the low-performing workers in various government departments, which I'm sure MAGA can get behind because they're nameless people, part of the deep state. Eggs are part of their state, and it's the state of their refrigerator. So it's kind of this is like a kitchen tables reading here. So I'm going to do a reading on the current state of Donald Trump, his supporters, people who voted for him, and kitchen table topics such as egg prices. Okay, entertainment purposes only. What do we have? We start off with the Four of Wands. This is the wedding card. This is the new beginnings, opening day. Is it opening day that they're opening their arms out to Trump? They're just bringing him in. Crossed with the Star card. Dear leader is going to make everything fine. We reelected him. Everything is going to be great now that Donald Trump, the star of The Apprentice, is in there. And boy, oh boy, are we looking forward. America's going to be great again, and we're looking forward to it. Dude, come on, Nico. Get on the chair. Yeah. I mean, I'm already 8 minutes into this reading. I've barely gotten started. So here, as far as kitchen table issues, Trump supporters are really excited. They got their guy in there. They're looking forward to America being great again. In the past, the Five of Coins are feeling left out. They're feeling like they're struggling financially. Even though the economic numbers are saying they were doing well, the economic numbers may not be capturing the folks that voted for Trump. They felt like they were struggling and they were poor and they were left out. Current situation is the Three of Coins. They're waiting. They're waiting. It's like, okay, you promised it. Let's go ahead and deliver it. And it's dark. He hasn't delivered. They're still patient. They're still waiting. But, you know, if you... Like, the whole reason why Charlie Kirk is... Oh, look at that. He's on my computer desk here. Oh, there's a plastic bag. That's why Goofball's up there. Cats in plastic bags is the weirdest thing. But, hey, he's going to be like a parrot over my shoulder now. They're waiting for him to deliver on his promise. He promised it. They're waiting. They're still patient. They haven't abandoned yet. That's where I was going to go with it. You know those little stickers that said, I did that, and it's got a picture, the recent ones have a picture of Trump pointing up. They also had the same ones for Biden with gas prices and sticking on gas pumps. It's kind of like that. You can stick that on the egg prices, and for some reason that really is concerning to the far right, to the conservatives. Oh, Elle's on the chair now. Because it's something you can point to that was a sore point with people. And here's the thing. It's easy for Trumpers to verify. Right? Because you go to the grocery store once a week and you're buying a dozen eggs and they cost more money than a T-bone steak for a dozen eggs. They're going to notice that. And they're going to be like, hey, Trump promised us he was going to lower those prices. When is that going to happen? And we've got the Republicans in charge of the House and the Senate, and the Cats are playing, and the presidency. You cannot blame the Democrats for this. This is all the Republicans. So I think that's one reason why they're so scared about it, is there's nobody to blame. The spotlight is straight up on them. Overarching energies, the Eight of Cups. They are worried that the folks that greeted him in are now going to walk away because they haven't delivered yet, and there may be rumblings of that. Lesson we learned is the King of Wands. Trump needs to do something. And again, Charlie Kirk is doing something by writing this article, but yelling at people to shut up about the price of eggs, I don't know if that's team building here. It's kind of like saying, stop being whiny little female dogs about this. Just buck up and deal with it. I don't think, it's kind of the... It's an abusive relationship. It's like the narcissist who love bombs you, and you think he's the sweetest, most wonderful guy ever, and then you're in a relationship with him, and all of a sudden the mask comes down, and now you start to see the real person, the controller, the one who doesn't use nice words anymore, the one who's going to tell you what to do. Buck up and just do it. Quit your whining and complaining. Stop being a poor little victim and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. That's not what they signed up for. They signed up for somebody who said, there, you're the sweetest, most poor, oppressed person ever, and we're going to make it all better by punishing brown people and trans people. And now they're being told you don't even get egg prices. So I think there's going to be some confusion here. Outcome is the Ten of Wands. This approach that they're doing isn't going to work. As people who are of modest income go through this process, it's going to be a bigger and bigger struggle for them. The star is not the star they thought he was. I mean, duh. But... And go figure, Trump can't lower egg prices. You know how you lower egg prices? You provide subsidies to egg farmers to help offset the cost of eggs. Or you provide subsidies to grocery stores. Or something along those lines. You sell a dozen eggs for $4 a dozen, we'll give you $2 rebates or... $4 worth of tax credits for every dozen you sell. Something like that, where there's an incentive for them to keep a price cap on the eggs. That reminds me, I need to do a reading on Tesla sales in Canada. Apparently there was a rebate program that was expiring, and 4 dealerships claimed they sold 80,000 or 100,000 Teslas in a really short period of time. And it just smacks of fraud, because they were going to getting thousands of dollars per vehicle sold in rebates. I think from Tesla. So that's got to be an interesting reading here. Okay, so let's go ahead. How are Trump... So that's the general energy. People are getting a little bit upset here. Things are getting harder. If things continue at this rate, how are the Trump supporters going to react to it? Moon card. I think they're starting to... It's slowly dawning on them what's going on. And as it slowly dawns, as the eclipse moves, as the moon moves out of the way of the sun and they start understanding what's happening, they're leaving. It's the end of their support for Trump. They're going to realize that he's like every other politician that promises stuff and then doesn't deliver on it. And there's going to be multiple camps. It's going to be a spectrum. Don't expect this to be an overnight event. Sorry, puns everywhere. Expect that it's going to be a spectrum. The people who are the least, the ones who maybe voted for him for solely because they thought he was a good businessman, are looking at these threatened tariffs and food prices. And they're going to be like, hey, he didn't deliver on something. The only reason I voted for this guy is I was tired of the price of eggs. I'm not into it. And these tariffs are dumb. So they'll be gone. And then so you start from there. The ones that overlap the most with everyday kitchen table items, that might include a lot of the independents that maybe voted for him, are going to say, yeah, I thought he was a good businessman. I thought he had our interests in mind, and he doesn't. And they start moving away. And then you start chopping closer and closer towards the ones who support him for other reasons. The reason I wanted to bring you back down here is the world card could also be overseas events. He's walking away from Ukraine. And people didn't expect that because they've been told Ukraine's our ally and they're doing a great job. And now he's walking away from them. These are allies. And so you might start losing some military people who understand that what Trump is doing is bad for the U.S. on a world stage. You might also look at like his deals with Israel, trying to get hostages returned, and things that he and Netanyahu are saying or doing that don't make sense. So he's losing people around the periphery items, maybe not the biggest things, and these would be the weakest of the Trump supporters, but they would be Trump supporters in the vein of that they voted for the guy. For whatever the big event is that's going to happen in March, let's say by the end of March, what is, for the folks that haven't already sort of pushed away Trump, for the folks that start moving away from Trump at the end of the month, what's the main reason for that? I don't know. I did a reading last night, and I did a reading with my brother on March, and it's just like I think Dr. Lena said that she had kind of started that. I really am getting something big happening. I mean, I pulled 7 major arcana out of 8 cards. That something significant was going to happen, or certainly you could say something destined. And I'm kind of curious, by the end of the month, once this event, whatever it is, has happened, what's going to be happening with the MAGA voters? What will be driving them away or impacting them? The lovers, the promises, the relationships, the big contracts. King of Cups. I too refer to this as Putin these days. He used to be the Biden card. Queen of Wands. Knight of Cups, great. All the royalty cards here. And the Page of Pentacles. Messaging about money. My card for Ukraine, Putin, changing values. It's almost as if Trump was going to announce that he's stopping support of Ukraine and instead giving that support to Russia. That's how I would read this really quickly here. But if we were just doing it on U.S. domestic policy, these people held Donald Trump in high esteem, and they keep waiting for him to take action that's compassionate for them. He keeps talking a good talk. He keeps telling them he's doing this great job, but they're not actually seeing. They're not actually seeing the result of this. This was also my grifting card for Trump. It's not giving me much here. If it's not Russia, Ukraine, and frankly, I don't think a lot of Trump supporters give a toss about Ukraine and Russia at this point. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I think the cards are... If I may have asked the question, but I think the cards would give me a different answer. I think it's more that there's going to be a shift in U.S. policy as far as Russia and Ukraine are going here. So I'll respect the cards at this point and just leave it here. I record this on March 9th. It'll come up March 10th. We have a couple of weeks to go. Certainly by next week, we're going to find out, by the end of this week, which will be Friday, we're going to find out about this budget. Originally, I thought they might do a continuing resolution. But more and more, I'm thinking that may not be the case. How about a little poll Carter on that? Will the Democrats vote in support of whatever budget the Republicans put forward? In other words, if they don't, the Republicans have to get all their ducks in a row, or there's a government shutdown. Will the Democrats provide any support whatsoever for the Republican budget, even if it's a continuing resolution? Will they give it its support? For Carter. King of Swords. Live by the sword, die by the sword. There's a victory here. People being left out in the cold. Page of Cups. I don't think they do. Maybe there could be some negotiations go on, but I think it's kind of let the Republicans do what they want. People need to suffer under the Republican victory to find out. MAGA needs to understand that they voted for their own impoverishment. And if the government has to shut down while the Republicans try and figure it out, let them do it. They want to do a continuing resolution? Fine. But then the Democrats are going to ask for concessions. In other words, the Democrats may for once in their life be playing hardball and refusing to cooperate with the GOP. And then, the GOP can say, oh, the Democrats shut down the government. It's like, hey, we're not the majority. You guys are. Come up with your fiscal policy and pass it. We never expect the Republicans, to support a Democratic budget. Why should we have to support your budget? It could lead to a shutdown. The shutdown is looming underneath all of it. And that King of Swords is like, yeah, too bad. Let the Republicans struggle. I don't think they want to hurt people, but some ways having the government shut down freezes Trump and Musk from their worst inclinations and their worst deeds. So, in other words, the government gets frozen in time rather than having Musk running around with his chainsaw, hacking away at departments even more. And by the government being shut down, it does allow court cases to continue proceeding. So the courts have time to start catching up to the shenanigans that Trump and Musk are up to. May not be the worst thing. Now I say that, and my apologies will go out to any government worker that would be impacted by that. I'm not wishing anxiety or hardship on you. You're just a pawn in this game at this point. And it's not fair that you have to endure this, but all of us are enduring it in some way, shape, or form. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I do appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only. I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.